How many of you are the children of immigrants? Thank you for the show of hands. Looks like we have something in common. My name is Jessica Pierre, and I happen to be a first generation Haitian American. Growing up in a Haitian household had its advantages and its disadvantages, and I plan on sharing some of those pros and cons with you today. Both my parents immigrated in their late teens, and they both immigrated to New York, which happens to be my birth state. Though they didn't meet until a few years after they immigrated, they do have similar backgrounds. For instance, they're both the eldest siblings of rather large families, and they were both the only of their siblings to have immigrated at that particular time. Another major similarity that they shared is that they were both Seventh day Adventists. And part of being a Seventh day Adventist youth includes being a part of a group called Pathfinders. And if you don't know what Pathfinders are, I would equate them to our Boy and Girl Scouts, but with a spiritual aspect. Some of the things that we learn as Pathfinders are basic survival skills and how they correlate with our spirituality. Another major component of being a Pathfinder is going on yearly camping trips. And it was on one of those camping trips that my parents met. Shortly after meeting at Berkshire Camp, they began a relationship. Eventually, they got married, and the rest is history. During their marriage, they did have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. My younger brother Cody and I were born during the early stages of their relationship. And I can say that our upbringing varied greatly from the upbringing of our younger siblings. For instance, they were stricter with us and they heavily injected their culture into the way that we were raised. They heavily emphasized education and a relationship with God. And they had very high expectations. They encouraged us to seek out careers in either medicine, law, or engineering. I was taught how to cook at an early age, and my brother was expected to help in the upkeep of the household. To say the least, it was overbearing and quite intense. Despite all of that, growing up in our household was incredibly enjoyable. For one, the food was amazing. And it's still pretty cool to be able to speak multiple languages. Even today, I'm able to communicate with our family back home using our native tongue of Haitian Creole. We were able to partake in traditions that date back to the origin of our country, such as the delicious pumpkin soup that we make yearly on the first day of the year to signify our freedom. We were able to attend festivals that celebrated our flag and our independence. And we're still, to this day, enjoy the music that we call compa. We were able to learn the culture of our parents in order to pass it on to our own children. I cannot stress how grateful I am for the experiences that we had while growing up because they heavily affect how I raise my own children, although I'm not as extreme. I'm very proud to come from such a culture-rich household. I hope that I was able to give you even the tiniest of glimpses of my experience growing up as the child of immigrants. Thank you for your time.